Sri Jay Lakhani, an excellent communicator of Hinduism in Britain and director of the Hindu Academy, the Vivekananda Centre in London. Over the last 15 years, Sri Lakhani has given talks on Hinduism to thousands of youngsters at English schools, colleges and universities. If you wish to get a glimpse of the modern, dynamic face of Hinduism, then do not miss this series of talks.
Okay, this session we are going to focus on a very important system that we developed long time ago, but we have actually abandoned it recently. Now there are 4 aims of Hindu life. Remember this is very important because all the time bear that in mind. What's the aim of Hindu life? The aims of Hindu life are 4-fold, and these are the 4 aims of Hindu life. The first is called Dharma. Dharma, actually you may think me leading a religious life, but Dharma doesn't just mean leading a religious life. Dharma means trying to make sense of our human condition and resolving it. That is the meaning of the word Dharma. Making sense of our human condition and sorting ourselves out is the first aim of Hindu life, Dharma. The second aim of Hindu life is Artha. Artha means creating wealth. It means don't be a burden on society. Create wealth so that you can utilize it for the betterment of yourself, your family, and with the greater society. The second aim of Hindu life is Artha. Create wealth. Do make money. It doesn't say, be poor. He says, make money, otherwise you are a burden. Be helpful to society by creating wealth. If you are a farmer, you are manufacturing, you are a professional, in that manner you are kind of participating in creating wealth or, if you like, betterment for society. So go for it. So Dharma, Artha. The third aim of Hindu life, you'll be surprised, it's very interesting, is Kama. Kama means fulfilling desires. We all are human beings, desires are stirring up in us. It is allowing us to fulfill desires, because somebody says, you mustn't fulfill desires. He said, no, do fulfill desires. If you bottle up your desires, you become a psychotic case, you become a weirdo. These are fulfill desires, but the thing is, it gives you a health warning. It says, fulfill legitimate desires which are acceptable to greater society, not anything that, suppose you're walking around and you see somebody that you don't like the face of, and say, I'm going to smack him, I got desire. Mr. Lakhani said, go for it. I didn't say that. You must only fulfill legitimate desires that are tolerable, acceptable, not just anything that appears in your head. Okay, let's go for it. So fulfilling legitimate desires is the meaning of the word Kama. So Dharma, Artha, Kama, and the final aim of Hindu life is Moksha. Now moksha comes from a true Sanskrit word, Moha Kshaya. It means end of delusion. I want to get, all our lives we chase after desires, we fulfill one desire and 3 more appear, and then 3 fulfill, and then 6 appear. There's no end to it. We just keep getting caught up. Like fools, we keep chasing after desires, and it becomes tiresome. It literally drains us. We lose all our energy and all our, keenness to continue to live. It drains you. So it says, look, you wanted to sort your human condition out. Dharma, isn't it? You've forgotten that. So the fourth one says, no, you can't forget that. You have to sort yourself out. Moksha says, end of delusion. Because all your life is, if I make money, if I chase after this, if I fulfill this desire, I'll be okay. And you're never okay. So he says, something is wrong here. So when you begin to feel something is wrong, you say, I must, in a way, bring an end to this delusion that I have to fulfill this and chase after this. This is called moksha. Moksha doesn't mean running away from life. Be careful. Some people say that means you are escaping. You don't want to live. No. You want to live fully, but you want to say, what the heck is going on? Why am I chasing after desires? What's the source of desires? I want to come to terms with them. This is called moksha. You don't run away from life, but you want to try and sort yourself out. What is going on? Why am I being born again and again? That's called moksha. These are the 4 aims of Hindu life. Now to fulfill these 4 aims of Hindu life, the Hindus in ancient times they devised a system of dividing life into 4 stages. The 4 stages of life Hindus devised in ancient times are called ashrama. Now the ashram means, sometimes people think it's like monastic place, where the monks live, and it's called monastery, it's called ashram. Actually that's just not the right meaning. The word ashram comes from the word shrama. Shrama means that which requires effort, requires a lot of hard work. So ashram is saying, dividing life into 4 stages which require a lot of effort. Why do we have this ashram? So that we can fulfill the 4 aims of Hindu life. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. In order to fulfill these 4 aims of life, we are going to divide life into 4 stages and they are called 4 ashrama. That which requires a lot of effort. This is a technical meaning. When you give this technical meaning, you get more marks. Ashrama, from the word shrama. 4 aims of Hindu life being fulfilled through 4 stages of life. 4 ashrama. Now the first ashram is the student stage. It says that when you are a youngster, you just come out of, you're going to begin your education, start your studies. Then that's the time when the first ashram begins. A student stage. And the student stage of Hindu life is, as soon as you are ready to start your studies, that ashram begins. Now this is the stage where you acquire skills and learn various kind of disciplines. So here is where you get educated, you develop certain skills so that you can participate in greater societies. It's the education system. The first ashram is for education. So it begins as soon as you're ready to start your education. When does it finish? When you finish your education, it finishes. The first stage finishes. Now this particular ashram system has got the following key features. It is defined as Brahmacharya ashram. Brahmacharya is a very long word. You must learn the word. Now the word Brahmacharya, strangely, you may be surprised, but it's very important, is saying in simple English, when you are a student, no lovey-dovey. So if you are planning to send text message to that beautiful girl or that handsome boy, give it up. Brahmacharya means no lovey-dovey. When you are studying, study. Because if you digress and you start, looking at the boys and girls, this is the biggest distraction you can have when you are trying to study. And we know it. At many universities, I know youngsters who drop out of universities because they became lovey-dovey. So the first stage of Hindu life says Brahmacharya. Make sure while you are getting education, focus on your education and don't let any distraction get in your way, like seeing that beautiful girl or handsome boy. Don't do that. That's why it's called the Brahmacharya ashram, the first stage. Aim is to discipline yourself, make you educated. What are the key features of the first stage of life? Brahmacharya ashram. The 2 words that are like magic, and still ancient and modern, suitable even for in today's world. These words are discipline. People don't like discipline, but if you don't have discipline, you can't succeed in any field. Suppose you want to achieve anything in life, you must impose some discipline on yourself. So the first thing the Brahmacharya ashram said, no lovey-dovey, be disciplined in the way you educate yourself. So focus on your education, be disciplined in the way, suppose you're studying, make sure you're doing your homework, you are doing your revision. This is called discipline. So you want to be educated, be disciplined. So first thing is no lovey-dovey. Second, be disciplined. Discipline yourself. Okay, this is time for my studies. I'm not going to watch TV or switch on my, whatever, mobile or whatever. This is called discipline. The second aspect to the Brahmacharya ashram is respect. Again, modern society has forgotten these 2 lovely words, discipline and respect. Why is respect so important? This is the reason. Unless you show respect to the person who knows more than you, or the knowledge he carries is much more important, unless you show respect to the knowledge he carries as well as the person who is carrying the knowledge, if you don't show respect, do you know what will happen? The teacher will put the shutters down. He will not communicate with you. The moment you show respect to their teacher, the person holding this knowledge that you're looking to gain, and you show respect to the subject is presenting, if you respect for the person who is carrying the knowledge as well as the knowledge itself, then the doorways of communication open up. Haven't you noticed? If you go to your maths teacher and you're struggling with quadratic equation, you say, oh, please, I'm struggling, please help me respectfully. The teacher says, come here. At the end of the class, I'll sit with you and sort you out. But if you just say, oh, who cares? Then the teacher says, I don't care either, go away. So respect and discipline are very crucial things that ancient Hindus discovered and modern society has forgotten. UK, they've forgotten. Here in some schools, the teachers get beaten up. Forget about showing respect to them. In the inner city schools, the teachers get beaten up. You can see no respect. How will the education pass? That's why they come out dumbos. They can't study. They can't focus on this. They're lost it. So the 3 words, Brahmacharya, respect and discipline, they sound old-fashioned, but they are suitable for the modern world that we live in. That's why I'm recording this. This is the first stage of Hindu life. See, even though we are kind of now modern, so sometimes we think, well, we can't be Brahmacharya, we love that girl, we must have text message, have a girlfriend. Still, some of these ideas that came out of ancient India are still important for a modern world, for the modern society. idea of respect and discipline are so central if you want to achieve anything in life and become truly educated. This is the first stage of Hindu life, brahmacharya. This is the focus, this is the way you do it. Then we come to the second stage of the Hindu life. So when you finish your studies, then begins the second stage of life, and this is called the grahastha ashram. From the Sanskrit root griha, griha means house. So grahastha ashram means you are starting a household, you are starting, if you like, a home. So you may be a young person still living with your parents, but it's time for you to get married and settle down. This is the beginning of the grahastha ashram. And normally starts with the viva ceremony, means a marriage ceremony. Where you acquire a lifelong partner to support you, to set up home and have children. So the grahastha ashram is the second ashram you enter after you finish your studies. What are the key features of the grahastha ashram? Now the skills you acquired in the brahmacharya ashram, where you learned all the techniques of how to be skillful in any field, maths or science or engineering or whatever, medicine or whatever, you say, now it's time for me to contribute this for greater good. So use your skills to participate in the work of the greater world, greater society. Use your skills. Not only does it help society, but I told you one of the aims of Hindu life is artha, creating wealth. So you're creating money for yourself, for your family, for your society, for your community. So here in the second stage of life, you can fulfill the important aspect of Hinduism, artha, creating wealth. But the important thing that comes with a caveat, like a health warning, is it's nice to create wealth. But one thing Hindus have forgotten is how to use this wealth. Because you may say, okay, I can go on 5 holidays and these things, I have a bigger house and bigger car and all that. That's fine, nothing wrong. Look, we don't vilify, but we say, hang on. Some portion of your wealth must be used for greater good. It's nice to create a lot of money, be clever and make money, we don't mind, but then use it for better, not just for yourself, a bigger and bigger house. And there's a limit. What will you do with it? So when you create wealth, it comes with a warning. It says, you are a custodian of wealth. Remember to use this wealth for the betterment of greater society. And do you know what best example, and I love this chap for it, is Bill Gates. Here is a man who's made not millions, billions of pounds, just using his intelligence. And what does he do with his billions of pounds? He says, okay, my children will have it, half to this boy, half to this girl. No. He said they'll earn their own living. He gives all the money for philanthropic work. Billions, charitable work. This is a real Hindu without the tops and tails of being a Hindu. He creates wealth for betterment of others. So this is, if you like, the second stage of life, grahastha ashram, where you create wealth. And the other thing you do in the grahastha ashram is you are now allowed to fulfill legitimate desires. Suppose you said, I want to have children, I want to go on holidays, I want to have this. Look, it's nothing. We don't say, bottle it up, you can't do that. We say, yeah, go for it. Use your money wisely to fulfill legitimate desire. Don't go wild. And again, with a lot of people who are very rich, have you noticed in modern society, it becomes a curse. Wealth becomes a curse for them. Because they don't know what to do with the wealth. They don't use it for betterment of others. They do weird things, take on drugs, and do weird, and they crash. Have you noticed so many, personalities, very high power, high profile personalities, their personal lives are in shambles. They self-destruct. So wealth has become a curse for them. Let me go back again to our story. Dharma, artha, kama, fulfill legitimate desire, and you are safe. If you go wild, it's going to destroy you. Kama, and finally moksha. We'll talk about moksha in a minute. So this is the second stage of Hindu life. The third stage of Hindu life, look, this is very ancient tradition. We have already given it up, but it's still important because it carries a message for the modern world. The third stage of Hindu life is called the Vanaprastha ashram, or Vanaprasthan, Sanskrit word. Vana means forest, Prasthan means going to the forest. In ancient time, not now, it's highly unlikely, you're not going to go to forest, new forest or somewhere. In ancient times, when you fulfill your legitimate desires, you created wealth, you got children, everything is working well, it says Vanaprastha means time for retirement. It's a retirement stage of Hindu life. Retirement. Learn to retire. Don't get carried away, I must keep working until I die. He says, learn to retire gracefully. Take a back seat in your business, in your profession. Let others take on your jobs. Pass it on. Pass on your skills to the next generation rather than hang on to it. So Vanaprasthan is the retirement stage where you pass on your lovely skills to the next generation and you become an advisor. But again, there's a big problem with the Hindu community. Instead of being advisors, they become interfering. When you see some old fathers and old mothers interfering, daughter-in-law, no, you don't do this, put it here. No, I told you, but leave mother-in-law, leave me alone, let me do myself. A lot of young ladies are smiling here, personal experience. So it's time to let go. Or the fathers will interfere with the son's business. And, no, but I told you, you must do this account like this. The son said, no, I got internet, I can do it very quick. No, you must write it down. And they'll interfere. So don't interfere, advise, but don't get in the way of progress. This is the retirement stage. Again, many Hindus have forgotten this part. I know stories where old man is about to die, dying. He said, that house next door is cheap, buy it. I said, leave it alone, uncle. You are about to go, leave the next door house. Don't bother. They can't let go. But Vanaprastha means learn to withdraw. But you know what's the key word you must learn to get high marks? Vanaprastha means let go of desires. It's time to retire the desires. That's what keeps you kind of boiling. So now say let it go. So it's retiring not only from active life, but retiring from desires. Enough, I had enough. I enjoyed. Enough is enough. That's called retirement life. Vanaprastha ashram. See how well it's well thought out and still suitable for the modern world that we live in. Then we talk about the final stage or the fourth stage of the Hindu life. This is called the sannyas ashram. Sannyas. The word sannyas means renunciation. Now, does it mean it begins when you finish your retirement? No. Sannyas actually means at any time during your life, suppose you are a 5-year-old boy, 10-year-old boy, 15-year-old youngster, 20-year-old married man, whatever, 30-year-old, sannyas can start at any time of your life. There is no rule. What does it mean? It means when that individual says, I think something is wrong, I want to jump out all this and achieve. Remember the fourth aim of Hindu life? Moksha, end of delusion. I don't chase after desires and get married and all that. I am looking for moksha. My aim is no longer artha and kama. It is moksha. So anytime that desire springs up in you at a very young age or middle age or old age, when the desires, it's time for you to give up, renounce. So a sannyasi will normally join a monastic order, means they're all monks, not with families and all that. And they join a monastic order and they live for two aims of a sannyasi are the following. Please remember this. The sannyasi says, I want to achieve moksha, but in the process I want to help humanity. This is how they do sannyas. It's not just sitting in the cave and going om, but actually saying, while I'm looking for my solution, moksha, let me do some good to the greater world. Through helping humanity, they wish to achieve moksha. This is the aim of sannyas. This is very important because people sometimes think sannyas means give up family, give. No. A sannyasi will say, I've given up my small family because I've become a monk now, so I have to kind of do my own thing, live in a monastic order. I've given up my small family, not because I'm a horrible man, but because now the whole world has become my family. I don't just look after my little tiddly, my bachu and all that. I want to look after the whole world. This is the aim of sannyasa. Not giving up, taking on the whole world. This is my whole of this world is my family. So I'm now devoting myself not to my little tiddly family, the whole world. Sannyas. So you're giving up minor thing to get the big one. There's a nice story I do sometimes here. There was a sannyasi who went to a householder's house. Somebody who's kind of earning a living and so on. Don't forget, Grahastha ashram is very important because it is a financial support for all the ashrams. It's the Grahasthi who pays the bills for the tuition, for the fees for the child. It's the Grahasthi who looks after the Vanaprastha, the elderly people. It's the Grahasthi who will look after the sannyasis and pay the bills to travel, etc. So Grahasthi is very important. So the story is this. A sannyasi went to a Grahasthi and of course being kind of very traditional family, the Grahasthi immediately went and touched the feet of the sannyasi. He's given up with sannyasi, must in my house, I'm blessed, touch the feet. And sannyasi was very clever. He said, why do you touch my feet? He said, because you've given up everything. I must touch your feet. You renounced everything. I must pay tribute to you. Then the sannyasi was very sharp. He said, in that case, I think I should touch all your feet and grab them. He said, but why should you grab my feet? I'm a Grahasthi. He said, I'll tell you the reason. I have given up little trinkets, marbles, to catch diamond. So I've given up minor things, worldly things, to catch God. So I've given up marbles to catch God, the diamond. You chap have done more than me because you've given up God to catch hold of the marbles. So who has given up more, you or me? See the philosophy? So wow, the Grahasti is in fact the one who is given up more. He's given up the idea of chasing after God and look after material things. But the man who has given up everything is actually saying, I'm a clever clog. I don't want these marbles. I want gold. I want diamonds. I want God. That's why I've given up minor things. So it's a lovely story to remember. So these are the aims of the four aims of Hindu life: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. And the way you fulfill your aims are by dividing life into 4 stages: brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. So if you remember this much, you are doing very well. Thank you.
If sannyas ashram can start at any point in your life, does that mean that the other stages are insignificant and you don't need to accomplish those?
You see, I did specify that sannyas means if a stirring up comes from within you, that all this kind of trying to get married, having a family, chasing after desires, all this doesn't attract me. Suppose it arises naturally in anybody, young or old, man or woman, a boy or a girl. If it arises naturally, my advice as a Hindu speaker would be, become a sannyasi. Go for it, my boy. Go for it, my daughter. Go for it. Because this stirring up is so powerful. Let it flow. You will do great good for the rest of humanity and for yourself. So there is no imposition that you must go through the 4 stages of 4 ashrams and brahmacharya and grahastha and vanaprastha. You don't need necessarily to go through the whole process. If you, like Adi Shankara, at the age of 7, 8 or whatever, he decided to become a sannyasi and walked away without getting married, without even going through the full brahmacharya ashram. He studied all the Vedas at a very young age of 7, 8. He had learned the Vedas. He was a dramatic personality. So anytime you are stirred up, I would not hold you back. Say, go for it, my boy. Go for it. Whether you succeed or not, I don't know. But if his stirring up is strong, follow through. Follow your heart. It's perfectly fine.
When we're talking about sannyasa ashram, we are saying that the person, the male, he would go off to sannyas, he would go off to the monk, to where the monks are. But thinking about it, what about the rest of the family? What about his wife? She's probably equally as old as him. But then, what about her? What would she do? Like, if you're ready for sannyas, but she's not, what is she going to do? Is she going to be handled by children? She needs to do something.
Okay. You see, this is a very pragmatic question. First of all, is sannyas meant only for men? No. You can be a female sannyasi. You can walk out and leave your husband to look after the children and say, bye-bye. I'm becoming a sannyasini. Allowed in the Hindu tradition, not partial just towards the male. Secondly, it is a very difficult decision for anybody to take on sannyas. But then we've got some wonderful characters that I love. You know, the person who was perhaps one of the most powerful personalities of Hindu tradition, who took sannyas at a very young age, is Adi Shankara. I don't exactly at the age of 9 or 8 or something. He said, for the betterment of the greater world, I'm going to take on sannyas. A little chap saying, I'm going to take sannyas. The mommy said, no way. Shush, stay home. And he loved his mommy. So just as the boy asked, what about the rest of the family? The mommy loves him, so you can't take sannyas. And this is the story. I don't know if it's true or not. Adi Shankara said, make sure my mom lets me off. This is a story. Whether it's true or not, I can't be sure. So Adi Shankara was already highly mystical personality, very majestic personality, tremendous powers, siddhis. So what he did is, this is the story. They lived near a river, and they went to take a bath, and a crocodile caught hold of his leg and was pulling him in the water, of course, to have him for lunch. And Adi Shankara shouted, Mom, help. Mom came out, what can I do? What can I do? Adi Shankara said, the only way this alligator, this crocodile will let go of me if you let me become a sannyasi. This is a story. I think Adi Shankara is capable of all this. So mommy said, okay, my boy, take sannyas. That's how he took sannyas. But does he mean he forgets his love for his mother? No. Look at this great Adi Shankara, the great sannyasi of the Hindu tradition. Does he forget about his mom? Like his boy said, does he forget about his family? No. He told his mom, even though I am a sannyasi, means I'm not supposed to do any religious ceremonials, I will do your antima kriya. I will be the one who will do your final rites. He's not supposed to do it. He said, I'll break the rules. I'll come and do your antim kriya. At the time of death, I will appear to you. I'll come back to you, mom. The same story is true of my great sannyasi that I love, modern one, Vivekananda. Here is a man who wants to do great things, which he has done. That's why I'm waving my arms here, because of Vivekananda. So here, in order for him to do this greater work, he had to abandon his family, his mother and his brother and sisters. He had two brothers and one sister. He had to abandon them and walk out and they were not very rich. Very difficult. His heart was torn. He thought, now, do I just look after my little family or the greater world? And after you see, he's tremendous softy inside. He broke his heart, but he said, I go out. He had to leave them to fend for themselves. Sad, isn't it? Frightening. But let me tell you the story of Vivekananda, the true Vivekananda, the heart, just like Adi Shankara. When he was struggling, he was walking around, he met a major king, very important king. And it's a private letter. This is a true story. He said, I'm a sannyasi, I can never ask for anything, but you are my personal friend. A king, one of the kings was very friendly. He said, I'm going to do this to you. I'm writing a letter to you with tears in my eyes, but don't ever publish this letter, but do what I'm asking you to do as a friend, not as a sannyasi. As a friend, help me. Do you know what he wrote to the king? Please make sure a few rupees per month are given to my mother, because she's struggling. He said, I cannot beg like this. I'm a sannyasi. I can't ask for my family. But I love my mother. Please make sure. He said, please don't publish this because it goes against the teaching of sannyasa. He said, don't publish this. What a lovely fellow. Trying to help behind the stage without making a noise, without making fuss. And do you know the Hindus will allow that? That letter was published. That's why I know about the story. These are lovely stories of great sannyasis who give up their small families, not because they don't love them. They are very warm and loving, and yet they want to love the greater world. It's a very difficult tussle. It breaks their heart. But they will go through this difficult process for the betterment of greater humanity.
Offering of food to God, how do we know that it's coming back as prasad or just normal food?
You see here, there are various aspects to every religious ceremonial you carry out. I said one aspect is a reminder that you must think of something higher. That's why I do a religious ceremony or worship or whatever. The second is kind of discipline you impose in yourself so you continue to repeat and think of higher things on a routine basis. The discipline. The third reason why we do any religious ceremonial is symbolic. It's a symbolic gesture. Like suppose you say, I'm going to do a yatra, a spiritual journey, and it's a tirtha going from this plane to a higher plane. This is going to the same earth. It's not going to go to Mars or something. It's a symbolic process. In the same way, when we offer food or cooked food or fruits to God or food stuff to God, does it mean he actually munches? Do you think he's hungry, starving or something? You are actually satisfying yourself, your desire to feed, like a guest who has come to your home. You want to feed God. Why shouldn't you have a personal relationship with God like that? So it is this tremendous, and by the way, remember, if you're truly devout, I'm telling you, if you're truly devout, like Narsi Mehta or Meera or somebody, if you offer, this God chap will come and munch. I'm not joking. It's a devotion that counts. So if your devotion is genuine, then take it for granted that the food you offered has been touched by God. Believe that. And then that food becomes sacred. It's called prasad. Now, how do I know it's right or wrong? Suppose you did it without any bother. You say, okay, let's give you an apple and let's walk away. You don't give it. You're not bothered. You're just doing because your mom is telling you to offer. You're not bothered one bit. There's no devotion. So I don't know whether God will come and eat it or not, or whether it becomes prasad or still remains food, ordinary apple. I don't know. But it's your devotion that counts.